Hey guys, how are you? I told myself today to not be anxious, and I prayed about it, and I'm anxious. But I prayed if I acknowledge it, then I won't have so much power over me.
Just picture that we all, no, never mind.
Hey, so I'm just going to start off a little bit about what Soccer Shots is, and then specifically what our program is about. So what is Soccer Shots? Soccer Shots, it's a child soccer program, and we've been in the upstate community for about 5 years now. We serve Greenville, Anderson, and Spartanburg. But our soccer program focuses on character development, so it's not just about playing soccer. We have a family team that positively impacts children's lives on and off the field through what we say is best-in-class coaching, communication, and curriculum. So we actually use a teaching curriculum within our soccer training program, so there's actually a structure and a focus to each of our sessions that we do. We have expert-approved curriculum that is age-appropriate and aligns with childhood education standards. So by South Carolina standards, we try to follow with them in our curriculum, and it meets all of those. It's really cool. And we have 3 different kinds of classes. We do like a mini, which is like kids that are actually 2 to 3. Yeah, we really do play soccer with kids that are 2 to 3. It's a lot of fun. It's less about soccer and more about like games and stuff because they're not always able to understand, how to kick the ball a lot of times. In addition, we provide an exceptional customer experience and ongoing communication with parents. It's really true. The visionary Buddy Hall, who might come later, he will call every other parent, even though we have so many. Really great customer experience, and I'm just bragging on him because it's not me, it's him. And how do we do this? We have deliberate actions, ordinary in themselves, performed consistently and carefully, compounded together, added up over time equals excellence. And that's something my boss always strives for, is excellent in every facet of our company. He really challenges us. So our mission is, as the premier children's soccer experience, our mission is clear. We aim to positively impact children's lives. Okay, so I am the Empower Coordinator. So just to give you a little brief background of, not that it really matters, I really do believe that it sometimes doesn't matter. I went for my undergrad at Stony Brook in New York for psychology, and I went on to my master's degree for clinical mental health counseling, and now I'm a soccer coach. But through amazing methods. I remember I'm a man who has struggled with fear most of his life, and I feel like the timing of the Lord, and I felt like one day I went to go see Prince Caspian, and I felt like God was saying, this is going to help you be brave today. I was like, really? And I just saw the play. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but it was so encouraging. I'm like, I'm going to look for a new job today, and just be adventurous, and little by little, that I knew that something was in store, and it's been an exciting ride. So this is what my threefold approach is, and I say this to every agency and place that I go to, is I want to let people know about us, because I want to see if I can directly serve in the places. We go to places to play soccer. We don't have a place that everybody comes. We hope to. So I want to know if I can serve you directly, and if we can come to you and do soccer. So maybe in the future that could be something. Also, I want to develop a relationship with you guys. I'm also newer to the area. I've been down here for 2 years, so I'm still learning about the different agencies and the different places that are helping these individuals. And also, we are always looking to grow. We can't do this without the help of the community. I think I read somewhere that a good leader is knowing that other people have better strengths than they do. And I know that I have a lot of strengths that I'm lacking, and I need that. And that's what's beautiful about this whole process. I love connecting with other people. So anyway, all right. So this is our mission statement. The Empower program provides children with disabilities a safe place to learn and grow. Encourages social development, participation, and fun through the game of soccer. The program and curriculum are built on a continuum of multi-sensory strategies and provide progression of activities to gain confidence, balance, movement, and basic soccer skills. Empower and encourages the use of visuals, participant helpers, and can be modified to accommodate children's needs. We celebrate participation, growth, and having fun each week. I did not come up with that. And I'll explain that in better detail as we go on. So it was created in 2017. After this program has been around longer, the foundation has been around longer than the Empower program. It was just for children, but in Texas, a parent advocated and said, hey, would you be interested in doing this for kids with developmental disabilities? And they're like, I haven't thought of it, but I'm interested. And it created a big movement, and a lot of parents were able to see children have opportunities they'd never had before. And so this program was created as a division in Soccer Shots so we can serve the community. It's designed to have children participate in Soccer Shots with the hope that they'll engage in regular community program and other soccer leagues. So we do not want them to stay in the Empower League. We want them to move on to the regular session. See, that's the thing. This is a temporary thing, we hope. We want them to be able to play with the other kids. It's all about that integration. We don't want the separation, we want the integration. We are technically currently in our third season. We are finishing, and we're going into our fourth one for the winter. We had a public session, which is open to the community at New Hope Baptist Church. They are awesome people, and we're so thankful for them. We also did a school session with Einstein Academy, and we have done 2 seasons with the Little White House, just to kind of get you familiar with some of the community agencies we've been working with. So what's required? A child who has any developmental disability, it could be between the ages of 5 to 12. We currently have a program, though, that even goes up to age 16. Our regular Soccer Shot program only goes up to about age 8, 9, 10, sometimes 11, but we go higher than that. And here's some equipment that we have. We usually ask that, there are always jerseys that we wear. The kids get to wear their own jerseys. They really love that. They get so excited. They wear their shorts, shin guards, sneakers, etc. And a very essential part of our program is called a buddy system, which is an assistant for that individual during the session. And I'm going to explain that. So here are some integral aspects, 4 of them. One is the curriculum. So we have 3 different kinds of tracks within the curriculum. And they're kind of catered to developmental levels. How we get that is really we kind of just see where the children are at, and if they're able to do more, then we go for it. We are a program that challenges, not degrades. So we're going to always try to pick a curriculum that might be a little difficult, but doesn't cause them too much anxiety, because we want to set them up to succeed. But we always want to get them we always want to challenge them to go a little further and further as we could. So those are just the basic 3 different tracks. I'm really happy to say that our last public program, we used our regular curriculum. So it was awesome. We were so excited about that. So we encourage participation. This is a great way for the children to interact with coaches, with their buddy, so their assistant, and with other players, kids who might be on the same level as them or even different, to engage in those social opportunities. They're also encouraged to share their imaginations. Each session that we have is actually a different theme that we use. So we might have, one week we might be pirates, the next week we might pretend that we're at the zoo. So we're always using these themes to engage their imaginations. Avenues of social development. Children are invited to share their imaginations. We've got that. They practice skills, engage in games, and at the end of every session, kind of like when you think about a practice, there's certain drills that you go through, and then at the end they usually do what's called a scrimmage, which is where they come together and they play a real game and they test it. Well, we do that too. At the very end, they get about 5 to 10 minutes to actually play against one another as if they're on a team. I'm very detail oriented, and I realize that's not good for presentations, but children learn a new skill every 1 to 3 weeks, depending on curriculum track and individual group progression. So if you could just follow with me, we have seasons. Every season we have 10 sessions, which are practices. In every practice we have a character word that we use to encourage character development. And we also have one skill that they learn each practice, so every week they're learning a new skill. Every week we're also doing a new theme, which incorporates that skill. And then we also have games that are based on that theme that incorporate that skill. Okay, if you could follow that sequence with me, and I'll go into more in detail. So, like I said, we talk about a word of the day. This has been great for the Einstein Academy. In the beginning, we noticed a lot of the kids would get upset with the other players, and we would review things like the word respect in the beginning, which means treating other people the right way. And so we'll encourage that throughout the session, and we had a great opportunity where I actually kind of encourage, not that I want a child to be mean to somebody, but I encourage being in the moment when it happens. And I was able to say, hey, I'm going to make a name here, Jimmy, let's remember that we're going to show respect to our players, and instead of saying blah blah blah, let's actually share what they did well. And so we're always trying to show them respect, reminding them, but also showing them how they can be respectful. We got to create that image and just don't do that. We want to show them, they have to know how to do it. Then we have a warm-up, which is where the kids stretch. It's a good time. They do a little running. We make it fun. They get really excited about it. We have our skill. We have a game that's incorporated that skill. So I just want to tell you really quick what that looks like. So if we're doing pirates, and we might have a skill called passing, we'll call it pirate passing. And so I want you to pirate pass it to me, and each kid gets to try it. We show them what it looks like. And then we play a game called buried treasure. And what they have to do is they have to pirate pass their soccer ball into the cone, which we pretend is the buried treasure, and their soccer ball is a shovel. And we say, all right, I want you to take your shovels, and you got to pirate pass your shovel into those cones and collect the buried treasure. And they love it. They have a great time with it. They're super excited about it. I love it. And then I'll be like Captain Blackbeard, and I said, alright, I'm going to try and steal your ball. And we get all crazy, and I get into character. I'd be even more kiddish if you guys weren't adults, but I gotta limit myself there. All right, so our coaches. Here's some qualities to our coaches that we have to have. Dynamic. So when you meet, what's the saying? When you meet a child with autism, you've only met one child with autism. And we're not just dealing with autism. We're dealing with many different children. Intellectual disabilities, autism spectrum disorders, ADHD. We're going to be in Camper Down in the springtime. So excited about that. We're doing dyslexia now. That's not a developmental disabilities, but because there tends to be some balance and coordination difficulties associated with that, we put it under there so that we can give that the special attention that we would love to give it. We have to have rapport building, trustworthy, altruistic, experience. A lot of our coaches that do this, even I say a lot of coaches, even though there's only 3 of us, we have some kind of direct experience, whether in our own personal life or in our education, or both. Trained, I train the coaches, and we sit down at least every quarter and talk about how we're going to improve this. We do our own PowerPoints, we go out in the fields, we actually get into it. Time, so we spend a lot of time with the children, working with different age ranges. That presents us challenges, right? A child who's 5 is going to act differently than a child who's 12, and so sometimes we have different ages in that group, and we have to be very dynamic and flexible in how we approach one kid to another. I'm just going to keep going. Okay, so an integral part of our program is called a buddy system. What time do I have until Mike?
We just need to be out the door by 1, so.
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't want to take up so crazy, so I'm just going to go fly by this as much as I could. So in our program, we have an integral part called a buddy. A buddy is somebody who's going to work alongside the child. So that could be a parent, a personal care assistant, a therapist, a sibling, a friend, a volunteer. Over the fall, we did parents because we've been working on a volunteer base. And so I'm the coach, the kids are on the line, and one parent is next to each child, supporting them, encouraging them, and helping them. I'm happy to say, and I encourage this, that as we move through the season, the parents were able to pull back and let the children be more independent, which is what we want. And by the end, almost every child was not with a parent, except for one who is in a walker, who she needed more assistance, and that's okay. But it really could be anybody. I'm very happy to announce that St. Joseph High School wants to partner with us, and it looks like we're going to be getting them for volunteers. So what's great about this is we're connecting multiple communities to what we're doing, which is what we want. We have a church that's helping us. We have these volunteers from high school. They're getting integrated. They're learning about it. We want them to know about it. We want them to get experience. The children are creating opportunity or having opportunities to connect with other friends, which is really cool, and different people. So there's just so many different things that are happening beyond soccer. Sometimes I don't even realize I'm doing soccer because there's just so much more going on. Okay, so our last point, community resources. Just a big shout out to parents who have helped us get this program going. If it wasn't for the parents, we wouldn't be here. I've also been working with some great agencies in schools, daycares have been assisting us, and providers and physicians too. So if you're interested in helping us, we need it. We want it. Currently working, or consulting, hopefully more, working with an adaptive sports recreational therapist, because there are children that come in that have a walker, and certain moves are more difficult to do when you have a walker. So we want to know, how can we make this program flexible to meet this child's needs so that they can participate. So that's why we're always needing help in doing this. Our program is very, while structured, we don't make it rigid, because we recognize that there is a need to accommodate as much as we could. So that's what we do. Okay, so anyway, I want to get to, okay, so I'm going to get to the video. So this is one of our videos of what it's actually like. We're going to do our skill review. So this is at week 8, the last week of the season, and we're actually going to be reviewing some of the skills that we learned, and they're going to recall it. So every week we're reinforcing over and over and over again the skills that we learned, and they have to kind of call it back out to us. So we're challenging their memory. So is there a way? We have speed.
There's probably a way to turn the volume. I'm not really sure how to do it.
All right, so we might have to just pretend you're hearing something. All right, we're doing our pirate passing here. So they learn to pass it to me, and then they're also learning to do airplane control to stop it back. Every time that they do it, when they do it successfully, I'm giving them a high five and reinforcing their effort. I don't know, Mike, if you could tell who that is right there. So right now I'm adapting the move for her. Instead of her putting her foot down, I'm encouraging her to do what's called a wedge trap. So she does not have to lift her foot up fully off the ground. She only needs to lift it up a little bit. So I don't know if you can see me. So instead of putting your foot up and putting it down, which is hard, a better way to adapt that is just to lift up your foot with your toes and keeping your heel on the ground, which hopefully would be an easier thing to do for the child. Okay, and anybody have any questions and answers? Or, well, I guess I would provide the answers. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, you mentioned that you have like 3 different levels, and you said you had the minis, which are 2 to 3.
That's age group.
Right, but
That's a
what
different
are the other
program.
ages? Okay.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that's clear. So when I was talking about Mini Classic Premier, that's our regular program, not our Empower program.
I got you, okay.
Okay, just want to know. I'm sorry, I forgot to mention there's 2 different things here. One is our personal flyer, which has like the curriculum states that. The other one is I guess it's an advertisement about our next season. If you could help us spread the news and any children who might want to come. They look exactly the same, but they're not.
Yes, they're not the same.
They're not the same. Yeah. Anybody else?
Any questions?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
basically, you're teaching the fundamentals.
What's that?
You're basically sending the teaching of the fundamentals of soccer, but on their level, right?
Yeah, yes, and absolutely. They're learning the skills, and they're also, as they're getting older too, we'll also teach them the rules. Einstein Academy, we actually have, they play rounds. So they actually have teams, and we do like a league with them. So it's adapted to them, much different than what we're doing here in that video.
So do you partner with YMCA?
We don't partner with YMCA, no. Yeah, they have their own league, and that'd be something I would explore. I wouldn't mind talking to them
About
about
Parks
it.
and Rec?
What's that?
Are you with the Parks and Rec?
No. But that'd be something to explore too, you know? Yeah, more opportunities, sure. Yeah.
Question in the back.
How many kids have you had in it?
What's that?
How many kids do you have in the program?
In that group that we just saw, we have our max that we have is 8. We had 7 for that group. At Einstein Academy, we have 16 kids there. that we
And
do.
you said that you tried to help them so that they could go into
Right, a regular
the
program.
regular program.
That's right. Actually, there was a child who, 2 children. One child who, he had Down syndrome, and he was in. I also coach soccer. That's not Empower, our regular program, and he just happened to be in my one premier group, and he did what all the other kids were doing, and I told mom and dad, and I said, listen, I just want to let you know that I have a program called Empower. It's for kids with developmental disabilities. And I said, I never mentioned it to you because I don't think your son needs it, and I want him to stay where he is. So we want him to stay where he is. And I had another child, he came, we have free demo days. Every season we do a demo day, no strings attached, no money. Parents can come, bring their child, they can try it for free. If they like it, great, we sign up. If they don't like it, that's okay. We want them to be satisfied. We also, we turn nobody down. We work with them financially, we'll give discounts. We don't encourage that. If they could pay, we really would like that. We need the help financially. But if they're really struggling, we want to offer that. However, another parent came down with a child. He had very high functioning autism. He was so skilled, and I went up to mom, I was like, he does not need this program. Like, sign him up on the regular ones, he's awesome. Like, he does not need it. And she's like, well, what if he gets kind of anxious, you know, during the other things? I'm like, that's okay. That's okay. Like, let him face it, and you know what, if it really becomes a problem, then we can come back and talk about it again. But I want him to succeed and do well. I want him to be challenged. Yes, ma'am?
And I realize you're, new getting started with the kids and everything, but is there any room for growth into the adult? Like, I have 3 daughters who are in their 20s.
Yeah.
But they still enjoy doing what kids do,
Yeah.
even at their age.
Sure. I mean, that would be great. it's a child's program, so I can't, like, there's a limitation to how far I can go. I would love to do this for adults too. If you have any ideas of how I can do that, that'd be great. But it's a great point. I think we should have it for them as well. Yes, ma'am.
Because we all need to be moving, and we all need to be having fun, so it should be, I'm just encouraging you.
Right, well, encouraging after they
Yeah.
graduate, then they need other things that do engage them.
Absolutely.
I realize you got your hands full with the young kids.
Yeah.
That's okay.
I would love to.
Is this a national organization?
It is.
Okay.
It is national.
So you guys probably have limitations in terms of like your branch here in the upstate?
What do you mean by limitations?
Like, even if your upstate branch wants to serve adults with disabilities,
Right.
you have limitations because you belong to the overall national.
Yeah, they have some guidelines. Yeah, like the headquarters has guidelines on what we are able to do and not. But with this Empower program, it is super flexible, which is great. You know, where our other program only goes up to age 8, we could go up to 16. So we have some flexibility there. But because it's a child's program, I'm not sure. Like once we hit that 18 mark, I don't think we can really do anything after that. I'm assuming. So yeah, there's probably some good limitations that we got, but we haven't reached any of those yet, except for maybe what the madam just suggested before. So.
Is Empower anywhere else nationwide?
Yeah, I've befriended another Soccer Shots employee who works out of Charlotte, and she runs Empower there. Another one from New York, I didn't even know he was there until I moved down here. He runs an Empower there, which is more difficult because with that, we have the highest Medicaid taxes in New York and use the most, so there's so many services available that it tends, and that are also for free, that they tend to not want to pay for services. But here, we notice that there's not a lot of opportunities, so we have them. Yes, yes ma'am.
What is the,
Oh, I'm so nervous, I'm itching.
don't be nervous, what's the preparation like for the coaches in the more traditional lessons for
Yeah.
a kid that transitions in?
I'm sorry, that was really well said, but I
Sorry,
don't
okay,
understand.
so you meet with your coaches, right,
I
for
meet
the
with my
Empower
coaches.
program?
Yeah.
And they have their own training?
Right.
And then the hope is to take those kids and put them in the traditional, the regular program? So when they're going over there, and like the moms said, like what if he gets anxious, what if this happens, like what is the training for those coaches?
For the coaches who have a child with a developmental disability in a regular program? Great question. We don't have any protocol in store. The only thing that we've said is, and I just want to clarify too, the circumstances, I'm not sure if he actually even was able to join. But all we've been able to do is say, hey, if there is a child with a developmental disability, I'm the contact person for that. Come to me, and I will help. We just haven't had that yet, that come. I haven't heard of it. I'm actually glad you're asking that because I wish I followed up on it to see if he did. But thank you for that question. You guys ask good questions that I don't ask myself, and that's what I'm saying that I need. That's what I need to help make this better. So thank you for asking.
Any other questions? AJ, you were fantastic.
Thank you.
Ambassador for Soccer Shop. Thank you. And